we start things off with Ricky Starks and Juice Robinson, or would we? Because then we hear Jay White's music play. Juice runs down and he is followed by Jay White, and they double team Starks. Excalibur calls White the hottest free agent in pro wrestling, and he lays out Ricky Starks with the Blade Runner, and the announcement is made that Jay White is all elite, and this was a rare time when a promoted match on AEW was not delivered upon, but you got this instead. So I don't think people were too upset.
Yeah, I mean, I guess depending on who you're asking, maybe the biggest, surprise coming out of the show, maybe the biggest announcement coming out of the show, and certainly when it comes to maybe the, fandom, maybe the one that might be the most buzzed about. I thought it was rather unfortunate that the camera kind of missed his arrival into the arena. It was stuck on this wide shot as Juice Robinson was making the sneak attack, and then all of a sudden you hear Jay White's music, and then you see this little tiny figure on the stage, and the audience live recognizes it's Jay White, unfortunately, before maybe giving them that really nice presentation that you'd want for a guy making his promotional debut. I also question maybe this type of introduction because I mean, it's a great surprise, but let's remember, like, Jay White is a guy who has headlined a Tokyo Dome. Jay White is somebody that I think a lot of people were expecting even to show up at a WrestleMania, if not the Raw after WrestleMania. So I think he's a really big deal. To put him into this situation kind of makes it feel like he's a sidekick of Juice Robinson's, rather than, to me, somebody who should be inserted. You can insert him directly into a main event. So I didn't really love that. I didn't really love the pacing of the segment itself. I thought a bit much was going on. And by the end of it, I don't know if he got as much focus as I would have liked to have seen for somebody of his stature.
I can certainly see the structuring of the segment as a whole. I like that they started the show with something that immediately grabbed your attention, and you've got that buzz circulating immediately at the start of the show. It's sort of like, in some ways, they kind of treated this as like their Dynamite after WrestleMania show. And it was just, you got more of a surprise here than you did on Monday. And it sort of just set the tone for the rest of the show. And we have this announcement to make that they built up all week long. And I would say with Jay White, like either WWE or AEW, I thought the jury is out. Like, how is he going to adapt to either company? And you might have had a very different answer 3 weeks ago than you do today. I think this is looking like a better option than WWE this week. But again, these things change, and we'll see. Like, there have been many signings, like a Juice Robinson being a perfect example. I don't think you want to aspire to be in that role where it's only of late that Juice has gotten any kind of focus.
Yeah. It's so interesting, maybe how you maybe put that into context, because like 2-3 weeks ago, a Jay White coming into WWE under Levesque, I think his prospects would have looked really good. I think they would have used him really well in a way that I don't think he would have been able to have in AEW. I think his promo is one of the things that really makes him stand out from maybe your typical, indie darling, for lack of a better word. And I think he would have excelled in that form of WWE. But under a WWE that doesn't see superstar in him, doesn't see, him the way maybe somebody might see a Cody, he would have had no chance. He would have been a Johnny Gargano. He would have been somebody, who knows? It's hard to say, but that clearly is not happening now. And I don't know if AEW is going to necessarily maximize Jay White's value either. I mean, you look at so many names that have come in that are just maybe starting to get their run. So many people that just kind of end up getting lost because there are so many other names. And this does not really give me such great hope, like the way they brought him in with Juice. I understand the Bullet Club thing, but man,
they do have a program, at least. Like, they are tied with Ricky Starks.
Yeah. Like starting off Jay White with a Ricky Starks, I think is fine, is okay. But I think Jay White's big enough that you could have started him with a Kenny Omega. You could have started him with, at the very top, and then maybe moved down from there. But hey, we'll see. It's only been a small interaction we've seen so far.
We're back on Thursday for Post Wrestling Cafe members with our review of The Art of Wrestling from November of 2014, featuring CM Punk on the show. We will be diving into that entire interview. $6 to sign up. It gives you access to all of our bonus shows, and we've got 3 coming up over the next 3 days for you. And as well, you can subscribe at video.postwrestling.com to get video versions of all of our cafe content.